the main reason, or there was a void in case of the directors? How do you rate it? I want to.
I personally feel that now, when I go to any theatre institute or FTI or any other place where I have to conduct a workshop, this is what I have realized. That the students there are very impatient right now. They are just kind of buying time, and they are desperate to get out. They are auditioning, they are quietly auditioning for the roles outside. Earlier it was not the case. Now there is distraction, there is demand for good actors because we are making many films and series. But actors will have to decide what kind of inning they are looking for. They are looking for 2 years, 5 years, 7 years, or they are looking for an inning which is unending. And it can only happen if you are trained. Look at Mr. Nasruddin Shah. Even if he chooses whether he to be busy on OTT or films or not, or he should do theatre. He chooses that only because he's so well trained. I don't think any other actor is that trained, and he's so much fascinated by this craft of acting all the time. So where that will come from? When you really harness, when you really go and really throw yourself into the preparation in knowing the craft and the skill. It is a very frustrating thing when others are working, you are not working. It is frustrating. But if you give that 4 years, your 40 years will be taken care of. This is what I was trying to say.
Next question, please.
हेलो मनोज जी और सुधीर जी, गुड इवनिंग। कोलकाता इंटरनेशनल फिल्म फेस्टिवल में स्वागतम। मेरा 2 क्वेश्चन है, एक मनोज जी के सुधीर जी के लिए, एक है मनोज जी के लिए। व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय डायरेक्टर्स एक्टर? आर यू ए डायरेक्टर्स एक्टर?
Every actor is director's actor.
सुधीर जी को मैं एक तो बोलना चाहूंगा कि जैसे बांग्ला सिनेमा और भोजपुरी सिनेमा, मराठी सिनेमा का टिकट साइज बहुत कम है, बहुत छोटा है, तो कैसे वो हिंदी सिनेमा के साथ कम्पीट करें?
ये तो डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर बताएगा, मार्केटिंग वाले बताएंगे। मैं क्या कह सकता हूँ? अनफॉर्चुनेटली अगर मेरे कंट्रोल में होता तो मैं बहुत कुछ बदल देता, लेकिन है नहीं।
Okay.
No, but I mean, Marathi cinema is doing very well, and regional cinema, Marathi cinema is, in spite of being, more or less happening in Bombay, it has found a place for its own, and there are some Umesh Kulkarni, wonderful directors, and a bunch of films coming out which are being shown around the world. So I don't think, again, it's not a wrestling match, and then these are all national cinemas. And I think the OTT is bringing us all closer. That's one great contribution. A film released in Kerala is released simultaneously. It's a very good thing.
Manoj, can I ask you,
Yeah.
what gives you that biggest high, even after so many years, after so many experiences, doing all these kinds of roles, what gives you that high to act, to go on sets, to stand in front of, what is that adrenaline rush?
Just acting. I'm so much in love with this craft. It's so. Now my wife stopped complaining. She's just given up because when the best part of acting is when you are preparing for it. I think because when you are acting for, say, Mr. Sudhir Mishra, and he says, "Cut, okay, let's move on." But when I'm preparing for it, when I'm trying to get into it, there is a conflict, there is a struggle because I'm scared to get into it in the first hand because I know it's going to be a dark place. But when I'm there, and that state I love the most, completely.
Don't you think an actor's job is a 24 hours job? It is not a 10 to 5 or a 9 to 6 job.
It is. Once I was sleeping and some few of the people were talking, and then they woke me up to go to my room and sleep. And next day, my director told me that in your sleep, you were you were repeating your dialogue. So I think my mind space is completely captured, by the role I'm playing.
You're obsessed with your character.
I'm completely obsessed with this craft.
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
My voice is audible, right?
Yeah.
So I have a question as a budding actor. So you told about how to start doing theatre, and after doing theatre, as an actor, when I'm coming to film, I'm traveling from a different medium, and in theatre we follow a narrative. There is a structure that an actor follows. Like there is a narrative. It begins from it begins and then it reaches the middle and then it reaches the climax. So we act accordingly. But when we are coming to cinema, we might be asked to shoot the climax scene before there is.
That is such a good question you're asking me. Nobody asks this question, and I've always been looking. So someone should ask this or someone should be really focusing in. When you are doing theatre, you're doing a play, you know exactly there is a beginning, there is a middle, there is an end, and you have really rehearsed so many times, and that's an actor's medium, okay? Actor is the king on stage. But in cinema, suddenly Gautam Da will say that we'll start with the end. Now, if you are not well prepared, if you haven't prepared and really decided about the graph of your performance, then you will fail. The most challenging thing for an actor when they are working in a series, Gautam, that if you are going location wise, that today I have to finish all my scenes of this location for the entire series. So this location we have to finish. Now, in this location, morning I'm shooting 5th episode, and then I'm shooting 1st episode, then I'm shooting 7th episode, 8th episode. So if you are not prepared, if you haven't prepared your graph and the consistency, you have to maintain. There is a graph to it. So I always, what I do that, when I'm preparing for the shot, I'm reading in my van, I go back and read 4 or 5 scenes before and 4 or 5 scenes afterwards. So I'm completely reminded about the graph.
It's the same for a director. Absolutely the same for a director. You have to. I'm just trying to schedule a series. When I said let the actor at least do the beginning in the beginning, because otherwise, if you're doing the end in the beginning, and even for me to comprehend it, his graph, and that's what we all do. That when you do a scene, you have to go back and forward and the implication of this scene for the end and the beginning.
But that's actually so difficult. Even rather than from film acting, right now, acting in an OTT series is far more demanding.
So far more demanding, very demanding, because it's difficult to really remember those sequences.
Exactly.
So you have to, for every scene that you are preparing, you have to go 5 scenes, backwards and 5 scenes forward. So you are immediately reminded of the graph you may have prepared, or you completely get it. Even if that emotional connection. So there has to be I always say one thing for actors, and this has been told to me by all the senior actors. The script, any question that you have, the script has all the answers. So read it as many times as possible. That you do in theatre, and that you have to do in cinema.
In films, though, we continue as actors to maintain and keep our continuity in mind. अभी तो वो हो गया कि मोबाइल में उठा लो और सीन देख लो. Are you still careful of your continuity, reading yourself as an actor, or you rely on the assistant?
There is a continuity person that she or he are assigned for the job, but most of the time I'm better than them. Give me my continuity.
That's exactly. I knew that was coming. Yes. The next question. ওখানে ওই ছেলেটিকে হাত তুলে দাঁড়িয়ে আছে. I think we are almost at the end of the.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Sir, firstly, I would like to say that your new film Joram has released. We will definitely watch it. First, sir, you did a film with Devashish Makhija before, which named Bhosle.
Yes.
So, sir, Bhosle was a retired policeman, and in Jodam, you are doing a character of a father who is trying to save his daughter from his past.
Right.
So, sir, which character challenged you more, or challenged the actor in you more to bring it out? And, sir, Sudhir, sir, I have a question. So, you have been a.
Both the characters have their own elements which I found very challenging. Bhosle needed a lot more from my for myself, lot more, because I was the only one who was in the center. Okay, but a loneliness which Bhosle himself didn't know how to deal with that. A loneliness that he was surrounded by all the time, a loneliness that he could not fill up, and suddenly he is thrown into that situation to be really lonely and suffering by the circumstance. But in Joram, this tribal man is someone who is being chased or accused of the violence that he didn't do. And he is guilty of violence who is non-violent. Is someone who is running away from violence all the time, is chased by violence, accused to be violent. So it's a very different kind of a mental setup required for this role. Completely different from Bhosle. I just hope that you guys go ahead and watch it today, show some support. नहीं तो अगली बार से बनाएंगे नहीं प्रोड्यूसर, मैं बता रहा हूँ.
आज तो आप देख लीजिएगा कि नंबर ऑफ व्यूअरशिप बढ़ गया. हाँ कि ना? Exactly. So we've completed the question answer session. I know that all of you had questions for him, but we have to end this session. Manoj Vajpayee will be back once again with us next film festival, perhaps.
Who knows? Maybe with the film I'll become.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. I didn't want to give that out, but yes, maybe. Why not? And before we part, we had a lovely session with the media, where you ended with a recitation.
Right.
I would request for the young people present out here, do you want to hear Manoj Vajpayee recite a poetry out to you? I can't hear.
क्या चाहिए आपको? क्या सुनना चाहते हैं?
रश्मिरथी
हाँ? रश्मिरथी. चलिए रश्मिरथी का छोटा सुनाया था. धूप धाम पानी पांडव आए कुछ और नहीं. सबको सुमार्ग पर लाने को, दुर्योधन को समझाने को भगवान हस्तिनापुर आए, पांडव का संदेशा लाए. दो न्याय अगर तो आधा दो, पर उसमें भी यदि बाधा हो तो दे दो केवल 5 ग्राम, रखो अपनी धरती तमाम. हम वही खुशी से खाएंगे, परिजन पर असीना उठाएंगे. दुर्योधन वो भी दे न सका, आशीष समाज की ले न सका. उल्टे हरि को बांधने चला, जो था असाध्य साधने चला. डगमग दिग्गज डोले, भगवान कुपित होकर बोले, बांधने मुझे तू आया है, जंजीर बड़ी क्या लाया है. गर मुझे बांधना चाहे मन, तो पहले बांध अनंत गगन. सुने को साध न सकता है, गर मुझे बांध कब सकता है.
That's been a wonderful, wonderful session from Sudhir Mishra and Manoj Vajpayee. Let's give them a big round of applause. They'll stand up for a photo session, please. Gautam da, would you kindly join us?